you up in this car during cleanup crew. We go back to yours and you don't give me some. Like Andy Lago would say, you have to right side. Let me know where it says Uber on my face. Let me know.
I honestly believe that we're in an epidemic where men thinking it's okay to hit women. And now I can see why women think men are getting more aggressive and more dangerous. First, guys were raised to never put your hand on a woman no matter what. And I agree with that because that's how I was raised. The boys were starting to get bullied at school by the little girls, punch them in the face, and these little boys weren't doing anything. So their moms told them, if a girl's hitting you, you have the right to defend yourself and hit her back. Then those boys grew up and evolved into men now thinking it's okay to hit a woman now when they're just talking. Or if they talk to you slick, slap them in the mouth. That's where I think the discrepancy between the generations is starting to turn around. Because there's too many relationships online where famous couples are getting into a fight in the car, people slamming their heads into the steering wheel, punching people so hard that their teeth fall out. That's just crazy to me. Maybe we should start going back into don't put your hands on a woman no matter what. It's just me trying to look out for the future men of the next generation and our sons, because we don't want them putting hands on women when they're in their 20s and 30s and 40s. It's just getting out of hand now.
Male sexual entitlement, why it is dangerous and why we must talk about it. Are men really dangerous? Are men actually dangerous? This is a question so many women quietly ask themselves. In today's video, we're going to be exposing how dangerous men can be. Some of the most harmful violence in our society doesn't start with hate. It starts with entitlement. Today we are exposing the dangers of male sexual entitlement, what it is, how it forms, and why it puts people at risk. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, and jot things down.
So men are insane, absolutely unhinged. And if you don't give them the attention they feel like they're entitled to, or you bruise their ego in any way, they will try to harm you severely. So first I saw this woman telling the story of her friend. So long story short, the friend rejected a guy on a dating site. They just didn't mesh. This guy built a whole nother profile of a more handsome man, right? And, gets all this information about this woman and then sets up a date with her, right? She goes to meet the handsome guy that she got catfished into meeting. Obviously, that guy doesn't show up. But who was there was the guy who built these fucking crazy profiles, preying on her vulnerability and weakness. Oh, you look sad. You just get stood up. Oh, let me have dinner with you. And they have dinner, and, she thinks it's a fairy tale. Long story short, she marries this guy, and he tortures her for ever so long. And then she finds out the origin of this. He got his fifis hurt and he decides to marry this woman. And I said, God, this sounds really familiar. Oh yeah, because a guy did this, only it ended up with a unaliving.
Ladies, I can't say this more strongly. Watch those motherfucking men. Men are dangerous. And the more insecure they are, the more dangerous they are. I have been seeing this patient for 18 months approximately. And during that time, he has been in intensive outpatient, as well as partial hospitalization. And you may not know what that means, but if you're a clinical professional, you understand the seriousness of that. This man has problems. After 18 months of working together, he's like, oh, Dr. Jewel, you have been so helpful to me. You have been so helpful. I think my wife would benefit from working with you. Mind you, this man is a narcissist, a dangerous narcissist. I said, I'll work with your wife. I have no problem with it as long as you and she don't have a problem with me working with the both of you separately. He's like, I don't have a problem with it. You have done such great work with me. I think she would benefit from it. Our marriage would benefit from it. I said, great. Let her know. Ask her if she wants to be seen by me. She agreed. After 3 sessions, she now wants a divorce and she has an emergency order of protection against him. Now he thinks there's a conflict of interest that I'm working with both of them. But he don't want to quit me. He wants me to fire her. And I'm not going to do that. Girl, watch these motherfuckers. They are fucking crazy.
Men truly do not deserve the access that they have to viewing women's bodies on the internet and social media. Let me explain just one point of view. So the other day I'm on Instagram and I've been seeing a lot of Sabrina Carpenter being posted about. Beautiful, talented young woman, right? Every time, tell me why, every time I see a video or a photo posted of Sabrina Carpenter, there are men in the comments section saying the most unhinged things about her body. I saw this photo of Sabrina Carpenter and there was men in the comment section. There was one man that was like, not a curve in sight. Another man said, she's built like a little boy. And then there was a video of her where she had her tummy showing, and like all these people were saying, men were saying insane things about her body. Like, what? This is a beautiful woman, like stereotypically beautiful. But that's the thing. Men, they have too much access to constant nudity, constant female nudity on the internet. They feel entitled to women's bodies. Not only do they feel entitled to see your body and to objectify you, but they feel entitled to tell you how you should change to be more attractive. And that's the thing. Living in a culture full of corn adult content, sexually explicit content at men's fingertips, it has turned them into entitled. They are so entitled. Yeah. And then I see these posts, they're like, free the nipple, of these pop culture news sites, and I'm like, why give that to men? Why allow them this constant access to your body? They feel entitled to it. What they're doing with those photos and videos. Nothing is worth giving up like constant access to women's bodies for men to view. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think men deserve the access that they have been given, and I don't think it's empowering that every woman in pop culture is expected to be a sex object at some point in her career, expected to show her body in order to further her career and get exposure. It's not empowering. Giving men constant access to women's bodies is not empowering. And again, back to the Sabrina Carpenter examples, she is just one example of how you put your body out there and men feel like they get to tell you why it's not attractive enough for their pleasure.
Also want to let you girlies know that it is not just men who, when you think of a dark-spirited person or a demonic person, right, you might think of somebody grungy and dirty, and sometimes he can come dressed like your dream man from head to toe. Nothing dark about him. It almost feels like no bad energy is attached to him. It feels right at first. But as time goes on, remember that these spiritual attacks and these low vibrational beings, they're smart. You're dealing with smart spirits. You're not dealing with things that haven't been around the block before. You're dealing with spirits that know what they're doing. They know how to get you. When you're noticing that you're doing things that are unlike you, when you're bending your boundaries, when you have a hard time explaining yourself to people, when you feel uncomfortable in situations, just doesn't feel right. These are all signs that you need to listen. You need to listen to your intuition. You need to listen to your body. Your body is your first defense system. Your physical body is your defense. So you need to listen to whatever it's telling you. If it's telling you, hey, this doesn't feel right, I'm not feeling comfortable. There'd be times where I'd go on dates with men and the men were never aggressive, open my doors, really nice, pay for everything. But I felt scared of them. Scared. Like physically scared, like horror movie scared. I'm like, why am I scared? I never see those men ever again. Why am I feeling like this? That's your body warning you. And if you don't listen, you will regret it big time.
If you are a woman, or really honestly, if you are a person who is attracted to men, who sleeps with men, I need you guys to start getting checked more regularly. This is important that we talk about. I'm gonna be very real with y'all. I don't believe that we take cheating seriously enough. Not only the psychological and the emotional factors of what that does to a person, but the fact that you can lose your life. You can literally lose your life if your partner is selfish. So they don't care about your feelings and how cheating would affect you. If your partner is so selfish that they don't even think to protect you from themselves, because here's the problem. You go ahead and you cheat and you choose to cheat with no protection, that's on you. But when you choose to cheat and not use protection and then go home to your partner and are still not using protection, that is not okay. You are now responsible for whatever happens to that person. It's one thing if you want to go ahead and catch something, okay, that you can't undo, that you can't treat. But you taking away the choice of your partner is fucked up and it's crazy. Long story short, I was basically made aware of a group of guys that I had met, a few months back, that they had told us that they were there to celebrate a friend's birthday. They were actually there celebrating his bachelor party. And again, not to put out too many details to protect the privacy of everybody involved, but I know somebody who had engaged in, adult time with that particular person. And this particular person just got married over the weekend. just got married over the weekend. This isn't the first time I've been involved in a situation like this. Now, this one, obviously, I'm not involved in the physical aspects of what happened for that situation, but I remember it was back in 2022 when I used to work at a major tech company. There was a man who I, thought was really, really cute at that time, and he was trying to spit at me while he was engaged. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. That man was talking about flying me out to New York to go see him. He was going to fly himself down to Houston to come and see me. It was going to be a whole thing. Like, he's spending bread on me. Like, it was a whole thing. Knowing that he was getting married in like 2 months. He was going to go ahead and get married in 2 months. Now, he and I didn't do anything. We didn't even kiss. He had enough sense to say something before it went there. But what if I had? What if I had? Now, as far as that idiot that just got married this past weekend, okay, the one that decided to engage in reckless sexual behavior that weekend that I met them, all right? The reason that I'm making this particular video is because of the fact that, again, he engaged in reckless sexual behavior and went back home to his fiance. Now, what is the likelihood of him using protection with his fiance? You've been engaged for a really long time. You've been together for a really long time. Using protection, if you haven't been using protection, okay, that would raise red flags now, wouldn't it? And the goal is to not get caught. What are the odds that he went home and got tested to make sure that he was straight? Because for me personally, I doubt very seriously that this is his first time. What are the odds that he went home and made sure that he was straight? He was fortunate that the person that he chose to do it with, again, is someone that takes very good care of themselves. But what in the event that that person had not taken care of themselves? Then what? Or again, we talk about risk of pregnancy. So it's not just about potentially sending, your fiance home, going home to your fiance, sleeping with her, and sending her home with something that she might not be able to cure, herpes, HIV, and, AIDS, or shoot, even chlamydia that goes on untreated. You can become sterile for that. What if she wanted to have children later? Taking away all of her choices. The reason that all of that is an issue is it's not just about the STDs, it's also about children. What if you had messed around and had a baby? Now you're married, and child support, in the event that somebody else, decided they wanted to go ahead and put him on child support, as they should, that's now also his wife's responsibility, which isn't okay. Sleeping with men will literally ruin your life. Sleeping with men can literally ruin your life. It could kill you because they don't care to even protect themselves from getting sick. And it could kill you financially because they don't even care about the fact that they might have knocked somebody up and now they have responsibilities. So I am saying all of this to say, if you are a person, specifically if you're a woman, specifically if you are a Black woman who sleeps with men, please start getting checked on a regular basis. I'm talking about every 90 days. I don't care how long you've been with the person. Every 90 days, make it a point to go get checked, or at least twice a year. At least twice a year. For your own safety, okay? Go get checked.
It's not that they're trying to destroy the Black man. Oh, they have. Look around. It's less than 1,000. In each state is a less than 1,000 divine masculines. I guarantee you. Walk around, understanding balance, understanding their divine and feminine energy. Like, it's literally not a lot of us out here. So for that reason, stay away from men altogether, for real. Like, we need a whole separation, and I'm talking about like a collective separation, because we as men need to heal on a whole different level. And I'm not saying it's not women out there that need a lot of healing, because it is, but it's overwhelmingly with men. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's a lot of healed men out there too, but it's more unhealed. So those are who I'm talking about. If this conversation don't fit you, then shut the fuck up. Don't even comment, because I'm not talking about you. If you want to vent, go vent somewhere else. I just personally, I hear too many horror stories of men abusing power, men lying about being a leader and being tapped in and learning the verbiage just to lure women in, just to discover that they've been lying about their whole identity the whole time. And maybe they've just been trying to fake it till they make it. But how much damage is that going to do to you? So I don't know. It's not a lot of options for y'all out here. It's very slim pickings. So, man, be careful who you go on a date with. Be careful who you open your legs to. Stop bringing in demons into this world with your portal. Like, be more responsible. I don't know what else to say for real. Just, man, get y'all shit together. Because for us to collectively come together, the ones that ain't gonna make it, gotta go. Them degenerates that came here to wreak havoc, gotta go. They not gonna help us in any way. Phone ringing confirmation, but nah, it's not gonna work, yo. It's not gonna work. So just flat the fuck out. Men are dangerous, and we are meant to be dangerous. We are supposed to be dangerous, but not towards each other. That's why I say the system won, because they successfully turned the most savage men on ourselves. Like, we supposed to be wreaking havoc amongst everyone else, not on us. When we see us, it's supposed to be a loving head nod, hug, support loving women and children, and somehow the beast, the mark of the beast. I ain't even gonna get into that conversation. Ladies, leave men alone. And if you feel away,
I was just 16 when you took my virginity on your office floor. Do you remember that? You did things to my teenage body that had never and should have never been done.
Sunday service went straight to hell in Indiana after a woman confronted Pastor John Lowe in front of the whole congregation at New Life Christian Church. Tempers started flaring after the pastor who tried to confess left out the fact that the victim was only 16 when it happened.
Did you do it? That's all we need to know. Yes, we did.
You didn't tell them she was 14 years old.
No, at 16.
Sorry, 16.
She was 16 years old, Jay. Okay, and it was wrong. I can't say it. I can't make it right. I can't make it any better.
And in a shocking twist, after his confession, church members surrounded Pastor John Lowe in a prayer circle and offered him forgiveness. Police would eventually investigate, but because of the statute of limitations, no charges were filed.
Sis, this message is for you. We're talking about the 3 types of men that spiritually break women. Yes, not all men break women with their hands. Some break them by their spirit. And then your body starts to tell on you on its own. Let's dive into this lesson. As a registered nurse and spiritual coach, I see these patterns often. Women disconnect from their bodies and their spirit after toxic love. Let's talk about it, ladies. We got to take this lesson. The finesser. Yes, he mirrors your desires. He's smooth talking. He seems to have it all together. Everything you want to see, hear, and feel. He's always suggesting somewhere to eat, to go, but he's never being the one to pay the tab or drive. This the one that's secretively very needy. This is the one that when you start adding it up, they are missing in a lot of areas, but maybe overcompensating in that one. And you ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Let's just say it's something that you can't pay the bills with. You can go long term with that, trust me. The signs in your relationship you may be experiencing, there are extreme highs and extreme lows in these type of connections. You will find yourself giving way too much, way too soon. In your spirit, you start feeling confusion and doubting your own intuition. Things start becoming foggy at this point, and your inner voice becomes quieter. And then we have the aggressor. He needs to be dominant emotionally, physically, and mentally, lady. Beware. You start walking on eggshells in these type of relationships. Your light feels dim. Chronic fatigue, headaches, loss of appetite, or overeating. Call that stress eating. And spiritually, you feel like a prisoner. You start to isolate yourself. You become smaller. You can't get through life with an aggressor. Trust me. You're not living in situations like this. You're just existing and trying to avoid making them upset. And that's not living at all, because everything makes them upset. And 3 ladies, we have Mr. Nice. He's kind until you stop giving or until he stops having things his way. Then he manipulates you with guilt. This one may have a lot of female friends, business partners, co-workers. He has contact with a lot of women because he's Mr. Nice. He's learned to play his role very well, ladies. Pay attention. You're trying not to disappoint him, but the whole time you're losing yourself. You're always explaining yourself. You may be having mood swings, crying spells, confusion if this is even right for you. Remember, trust your gut feeling, your intuition. We have it, ladies, for a reason. If your gut is telling you that something's off, something's off. Spiritually, you're going to be questioning yourself. Is this too much? Am I too much for him? Is he asking for too much? Ladies, you have to be careful with the Mr. Nice because sometimes their sole mission is to conquer you and break you.
I hate to do this guy, but look, sexual entitlement makes dating and male and female interactions worse for literally everyone. And I just actually want to talk about how dangerous it is, because the belief that driving someone home, that spending money, that buying drinks, going on a date, anything really, it can be courting, whatever, right? Means you're owed something physical, sex, whatever, in return is just dangerous and toxic. There's this dynamic that plays out constantly in dating, that men often pursue sex as a primary goal, at least early on, right? And women know this, and some, not all, not the majority, but at least some, will try and leverage that interest to play men, right? To use them. So this entire mindset, this system is just so toxic and transactional. And it's one of the main reasons there's so much resentment on both sides, because we both feel used. Men feel used, women feel used and coerced and pressured, and no one's actually connecting with each other. But the real danger isn't just the bitterness or feeling used or resentment. That's all surface level. It's that second level, right? What happens when someone who has that mindset of entitlement, of transaction, takes it to the extreme? Like, I've seen a second video from this guy saying if he didn't get anything, he wouldn't do anything, right? Fair enough. But that same mindset, someone else will use and take it too far. I know people are going to challenge me on the numbers, but just please listen. There could be 100 people. 99 people might operate with this exact same mindset of entitlement, right? If I drive her home, I better get some. I paid for her drinks. I paid for dates. I courted her. She owes me. And then they don't get sex, and that's it. Nothing happens. They may end up bitter, frustrated. They may think it's unfair, but that's it, right? End of the day, both are safe. There's going to be at least one person who truly believes they're owed something, and they'll take it too far. They might not accept no for an answer. They might become aggressive, threatening, violent, and they'll assault someone. And that's where this mindset of entitlement can ruin lives. And every time you reinforce the idea that driving someone home, that spending money, that putting in effort or time earns you sex or physical access to another person, you are contributing to a mindset that in its extreme justifies violence. And I know I'm taking it to the extreme, right? But I'm doing that because I really want you to understand like where it can lead to. And I have to be absolutely clear. Nothing entitles you to another person's body. Nothing. Not a car ride, not buying drinks, not an expensive dinner, not a series of dates, not a whole string of courting, not a relationship, not even marriage. Because you see it on here sometimes as well. Nothing. And the other side of that is, look, we need to learn to handle rejection without bitterness. Because someone not wanting to sleep with you is not that deep. It's not them using you. Because they don't owe you anything. They're just not interested. And that's okay. That is all right. Look, everyone is going to get played sometimes. Just have to deal with it. It's part of being a man. I'm sorry, you will get played, but it's not that deep. You're not owed anything. Now, if you're a woman watching, please hear this. Do not put yourself at risk. Whether it's for a free dinner, for a ride home, or money. Men are unsafe. And I'm not saying that as all men are unsafe, but men are unsafe because while most people will just be disappointed, you can't identify the person who won't take rejection well and the people who will take rejection well. So you deserve better than putting yourself in situations where you feel obligated or pressured or unsafe. And I know some people are going to say that sounds like I'm victim blaming. I'm really not. I'm just saying it straight. Look, I've spoken to the men already. They need to change that mindset. But there are going to be some who never will, and you can't control them, but you can control what you do to protect yourself. And I hate to say it, even in public, a lot of men, if they see this, if this was happening in public, may not help you because they understand the risk. An entitled man is a dangerous man to everyone. So don't put yourself at risk when you actually deserve, connection, interactions built on mutual attraction, not just leveraging and extraction. But back to the guys, right? Just drop the entitlement. Drop the transactional thinking. Drop the idea that you're owed anything, because you're not. At the end of the day, everyone deserves better than this. And some people's safety literally does depend on this. We have to get it right. But anyway, it's just my opinion.
Sexual entitlement isn't about attraction. It's not about desire. It's about the belief that someone is owed access to another person's body, and that belief can be extremely dangerous. Male sexual entitlement is the belief that men deserve sexual attention, sexual access, and compliance because they are male. The belief that they deserve sex because they have a manhood, or because they tried hard enough, or because they were nice, or because they even got rejected. Male sexual entitlement looks like this. A man believes that he deserves to sleep with you because he has chased you for so long, and that is his reward. A man feeling entitled to sex because he was nice from the beginning. This is how a lot of men think. Do you guys know this? A lot of them will say things like, I did everything right, she led me on, I deserve a second chance. This is the mindset of so many men. At its core, sexual entitlement treats consent as something to be earned or negotiated instead of something to be freely given. A lot of men truly believe that when you tell them no, they need to negotiate or they need to do something to earn it. That is why a man will keep doing things for you in hopes that you're going to give him sex, and when you finally don't give it, he feels like you've cheated him out of a deal or something. Some of these men will even plot to grape you because in the back of their minds they believe anything they did for you was in exchange for sex, and because you're not willing to give them sex, they will plot on how to take it from you forcefully. Be very careful. A lot of them see no as negotiation. They think when you tell them no, if they can negotiate harder, if they can beg you harder, you're going to give it to them, which is very wrong. This is why we say at its core, sexual entitlement treats consent as something to be earned or negotiated instead of something to be freely given. That is why even when you tell a man no, in the back of his mind, he thinks he can still earn a yes from you, or he can negotiate his way out of it. And when the two options don't work, what happens? He uses force, violence, and abuse to get it. Any means to get it, so be very careful. This is how extremely dangerous men can be. Do you know a very dangerous combination? It is an insecure man who is sexually entitled. Have you ever seen an insecure man who is sexually entitled? That is the worst kind of man any woman can encounter, because a man who is insecure and is sexually entitled will never take rejection. He cannot accept rejection. Rejection is a bruise to his ego. These are the type of men who will harm you, who will orchestrate a well-masterminded plan to harm you because you rejected them and bruised their ego. So they have to hurt you back in one way or the other. And they don't care how long it takes. They are going to get their lead back because you rejected them. The worst type of man any woman can encounter is an insecure man who is sexually entitled, who thinks he can get anybody he wants because deep down he is really insecure. Deep down he has deep-rooted insecurities. He cannot handle rejection because he has a fragile ego, to the point where he is willing to hurt anyone who rejects him. Men like this exist. Be very careful. These are the type of men who will marry you for revenge. They will grape you for revenge. They will sleep with you for revenge. They will baby trap you for revenge. And you don't even know it. You're thinking you're dealing with someone innocently, and the whole time this guy is orchestrating a well-masterminded plan with you. This is how dangerous men can be. Do you know how entitlement is learned? This mindset doesn't appear out of nowhere. The first thing is the media glorifying persistence after rejection. Jokes that minimize boundaries, peer pressure equating masculinity with sexual success or sexual conquest. A lot of men truly believe that the more women you can sleep with, or the more women you have slept with, the more girls you can back, the more masculine or the more manly you are, which is a very sick mindset. by the way. Equating masculinity with sexual conquest, the more women you've slept with, the more of a man you are. That is the mindset. Boys are often taught that rejection is an insult and not a boundary. That mindset can lead to frustration and resentment. When a man truly believes that rejection is an insult and not a boundary, that mindset can turn frustration into resentment. This is the reason why a lot of men resent you after you reject them. Every time you reject a man, this man, majority of them will carry a grudge for the rest of their lives because you rejected them. There are men who became players because the girl who rejected them in 3rd grade liked his friend and not him. And a lot of them carried that grudge in their hearts for years. You don't even know 90% of the men you've rejected, they hold a grudge against you because they truly see rejection as an insult and not a boundary. Just because I don't want to sleep with you, just because I don't want to date you, doesn't mean I'm insulting you. We may have different values. You may not be my type. We have different things we want. Maybe I'm not even ready for a relationship. Maybe I am the problem. But with men, when you tell them no, you've insulted them. So they have to pay you back for that insult in one way or the other. Why sexual entitlement is dangerous? Sexual entitlement is dangerous because it removes empathy. It removes respect. When someone believes that they are owed sex, they are more likely to ignore and push past no, use guilt, pressure and manipulation, dismiss fear of discomfort, and justify harmful behavior. Many cases of harassment, coercion, and sexual violence, rape, sexual abuse are rooted in entitlement, not attraction. Men who commit such crimes have a high sense of sexual entitlement. Rejection and escalation. A lot of men escalate rejection. Rejection is very normal, but entitlement turns rejection into a perceived injustice. That is when danger escalates into anger, stalking, threat, or violence. Not because of desire, but because control was challenged. This is what I want every woman to know. The harm goes beyond the victims. Sexual entitlement also affects men. It affects them way more than we think. It prevents healthy relationships, it fuels resentment, and it replaces self-reflection with self-blame. Entitlement doesn't create confidence, it creates isolation. This video isn't anti-men because a lot of them will come on the comment section and start talking trash. Exposing sexual entitlement isn't an attack on men. Most men are not sexually entitled. Most men respect consent. There are a lot of men who respect women. They respect women's bodies. They respect women's boundaries. But a lot of them are. Majority of men are entitled to women's bodies. The only thing preventing them from outrightly going out there to show their true colors is the law. The problem in our society is harmful belief systems and belief systems that need to be changed. Safety comes from education and communication, not silence. Speak up about it, talk about it, let the world know, let men know, let women know, let children know, let everyone know so that they can protect themselves. And holding harmful behavior accountable. Respect is not optional. Consent is not a reward. No one is owed access to another person's body. I'm going to end this video by saying this. Male sexual entitlement is dangerous because it normalizes harm and excuses violations. It excuses violence. Ending it protects everyone and creates healthier and more safer relationships in the future. So guys, we've come to the end of this amazing video. What do you guys think concerning this video? What are your thoughts on male sexual entitlement? Drop it in the comment section. I'm dying to see it, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye! Love you!